The sporting offload. Here we are with Noor. I just said to him, we got to go hard and heavy, bro. So we're going to start. Obviously, I'm your host, Maddie, if you've never listened to the weekly offload. And obviously, we have Noor with us. Just telling him to put the mic a bit closer to your mouth. But yeah, so we're going to start hot and heavy. The doggies. What are you thinking, Noor, at the moment?
I'm lost for words. That's the good way to start. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand. We said in Serraldo we trust. So it's waving though. That trust is slowly starting to wave.
You think so?
I think if you look at it online and you see what the fans are reacting to, I think we should be 0-4 this year. We got lucky to win them first two games. So I really feel like the team is not performing whatsoever. I think we could have easily been 0-4.
Because I was just thinking back, I do know the first game in Vegas, you probably were lucky to pull that out. And then I guess if you look at the Dragons' form now, it doesn't look great for the doggies, does it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like Dragons are a top performing team. They're literally, I would say, wooden spoon favourites this year. So for the doggies to just scrape through and win that, then against Canberra, same thing, it was just a scrape through to win that as well. Got lucky to win at the end. Last week, I thought maybe it was just 1 week. But the coaching decisions, look, I'm no coach, I'm no footy coach, NRL coach. It's just, it would be nice to get an explanation onto why these things are happening, because it just feels like last year all over again.
Yeah, I guess it's like I was saying to you about we're going to speak about later about content creators and things like that. And I have never done that on the weekly offload, and we're not doing that. We're not criticizing the club as a whole, because I think this is going to be a preview to the topic later, but I think if you criticize any club, like any NRL club, and then you expect them to facilitate players to come on, it won't happen. Absolutely. Because they are a business at the end of the day. But you're just saying at the moment, I know a lot of people online were saying about, and I posted the Hello Sport. Sorry about my voice, by the way, guys. Sounds like a 90s sex hotline. But some people might say, some people might get a bit aroused after this podcast. I don't know. Can I tell you, before I did this podcast, no one would ever say, oh, you have a nice voice or anything like that. And then after they're like, oh, you do. I don't know if this is a compliment, but you got I know the old jokes, you got a face for radio, but they're like, oh, you do have a nice voice. Anyways, back on track, because this is the sporting offload. So yeah, I did see a lot of videos and things online about people saying about when Crichton went off, you had Bronson Cherry on the bench, but they decided to bring on Sullivan and reshuffle the side quite a lot. So it wasn't centre for centre. What do you think of that?
Well, I thought he should have, myself watching the game, I thought 100% Cherry was about to come on. But at the same time, for the last 2 weeks, the only pressure he's been getting from the whole NRL world, commentators, even creators online, I've been watching like NRL 360, blah, 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 is to put Sullivan at halfback and then move Burton to centre. So I see a lot of people talking about last night, he moved him to 5'8". He didn't move Sullivan to 5'8". He never came out and said that. Just because he was playing on the left side or the right side, people are like, he's playing 5'8", why didn't they put him at halfback? Does it really make that much of a difference? If he was playing halfback or 5'8", however he came on, he would have still been controlling the team. So it just doesn't make sense to me what people want him to do at the same time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There's a different take on it, because I didn't see this online. Because actually, I think maybe I said before the season started, I thought that would be better too. That's what ended up happening. And that's what people have been calling for. But when it did happen, they were like, oh, why didn't you go Sherry?
Why didn't you go Sherry? Like me personally watching the game, I was like, oh, Sherry's coming on, left centre. That was the whole point of Sherry getting dropped, is he didn't want to play left centre. He's not a right centre. And then Crichton went down. I'm like, like for like replacement. Anyway, he didn't do that. But then after the game, hears everyone criticising that he done that. The same people that were talking about Sullivan will be the answer. Sullivan made 3 mistakes within the first 5 minutes he was on the field. Also, he let him try. Don't even get me started on Con Tracy. All right, he saves a try or two a game, but he gives away at least 1 try every single game. Most of his last 2 games, easily. Can't finish a pass. You can only pass over the top. You can say, I feel like he's Will Kennedy, just not as fast. Will Kennedy, same thing. He's got like a roof that he can't get, a ceiling. That's as best they're going to get. Look at the Sharks, 5 years straight now. Make the finals every year, get bumped out.
Okay.
I feel the Bulldogs are on the same track. Like Tracy's safe. He's made for like a team like Gold Coast Titans maybe. Put him, no offense to Mike Tyson supporters, but put him there. You know what I mean? Save we need something more. If they're saying the Premiership contenders. It's just I don't see that happening with the team at the moment. But maybe it's just Geraldo giving the same team as last year another chance to show themselves, prove that they can do it after the mistakes of last year. But at the moment, if he doesn't make some changes right quick, maybe next week against Penrith, that's going to be after putting 50 on Melbourne.
Is it Penrith next week?
Bulldogs next week. So
okay.
After putting 50 on Melbourne, imagine what they'll do to the Bulldogs. No Crichton for 4 to 8 weeks. He's got a grade 5 AC joint. What do you think about that?
It's funny. Something, and I might as well go bold on this podcast. Something in my intuition says that Bulldogs will win. I don't know
Against
what.
Penrith?
Yeah, I have no idea. That like defies logic because we were just saying before the pod. Really, when you look at it at the moment, and everyone's saying like, who's gonna beat Penrith? Because there's no like, even if you look at the ladder, I think Souths now currently are second, like as we speak now. But they've played a lot better. Like credit to them, even yesterday. And I mean, Latrell is on fire. I also do have him on my super coach team, so thanks, Latrell. He's getting the points, but he's on fire at the moment. And South's like, you know, they are on a different trajectory, I guess, to last year. But you look at like, it's like, I think I saw the ladder from last night, like live one. It was like Doggies. Obviously, there's a few games to go, but Souths. Then you had like, I think West Tigers.
If Tigers win today, they're coming second.
No, well, anyways,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, that would happen.
These ladders all over the place.
Para.
The ladders.
That's why, yeah. It's actually funny, no, because what I was gonna do was like I didn't want to tell you, I wanted to surprise you, but I was gonna do like I be a Bulldogs fan and you be an Eels fan, like an imitation of what they're like, but you've kind of just come in and not bagged them, but you know, you understand it. And I did show you like a content creator online and you were saying it's funny when you don't like your own supporters, don't you think, at different times?
I feel like a lot of the Bulldogs content creators at the moment are 18-year-olds or 19-year-olds that just started watching footy like 3 years ago when the Doggies started getting good. And they're the ones making the biggest comments and blowing, all of my social media is blowing up because of them. And I'm like, that makes sense. It does not make sense whatsoever. You know what I mean? You got an 18 or 19-year-old that's watched a couple games of footy, maybe he has never played footy in his life, talking about Cameron Geraldo, who had 200 plus NRL games, like he's making the mistake. So I just feel like us as fans, we just want more of an explanation after last year. Okay. So the fact that I feel like it's, you use the right word, going down the same trajectory as last year. You want a new year, new challenges, you know, something new. I don't think Leo Thompson can make that much of a difference now that he comes back in round 7. So I do feel it really needs a little bit of a shake-up. Something needs to change. Okay,
well, what? Let's leave the imitation of each other for a bit, so then you can at least think about like what an Eels fan's gonna sound like. And I'm gonna be Doggies.
I already know.
Okay. But I wanna, because you're going down the content, I'm gonna tell you like there's been like a bit of a storm like online basically. Yeah. So Parramatta Eels, what they did was they had a promotion at the start of the year, right? And it's like Eels fans, quote unquote. So they've had, I think maybe, I'm going to say maybe 4 or 5 content creators have been invited on there. It's a bit of a long story and I do follow some of the guys on there. So Para Cave, he is a friend of the show and I did message him about this. He was on the ad, right? But Talking Para, which is sort of a different podcast, they were not on the ad and they weren't happy.
They weren't happy with that.
No. And basically from my understanding, I've tried to understand a little bit more, and Hello Sports sort of had a bit of a dig at it as well. But from my understanding, what happened was Talking Para did a few controversial podcasts about the Eels club in 2024. Mm-hmm. The Eels didn't like that. They actually had a meeting with the Eels and they said about it and sort of like, we can get you back in good graces, things like that. Do you know Olin Tekers?
No, I'm not sure. Maybe I've seen the faces, but I'm not sure.
He's like, I have to say this, he's a black English guy, just so out of context. And he is an Eels fan, right?
Oh, no, which one? I know which one. Yes.
So
yes. Yes.
So the fact, all right. So the fact you know him is probably. I'm gonna try to give like two sides of the argument, but the fact you know him probably speaks to the argument, right?
Yeah, I'll definitely.
So he does a lot of stuff with the Eels. The Eels like players and things like that. He gets let in. Let's call it the inter sanctum of the Eels.
Yeah.
So talking para on April Fools, he did a post saying Olin Tekers has joined the Talking Para team.
Just as
an April Fool's joke. And then Olin Tekers, I haven't even saying that right. He has replied saying this would be a lot funnier if you hadn't asked me on your pod multiple times and I denied it.
Oh, so he actually wrote
He replied. My problem with it, and I asked Troy like from Paracave, because I said, can you tell like your side of the story? Because he's close with Adam, who also I've spoken to. So he seems like a nice guy, everything like that. But my problem with it, he put like passionate Eels fan at the bottom. And I just think it's a little bit petty, to be honest. And like, I don't want to go into it too much, but I did message Adam once, the Talking Para guy, about, so he has Jared Hayne on his podcast like a fair bit now. And I did message him saying, I personally wouldn't have him on the weekly offload. And I know he trains at our gym now, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
And a few of the guys have said, I'll get him on. Out of my personal opinion, I would just never have him on because I could have had him on like a while ago and I didn't want to do it, right? That's my personal choice and it's his personal choice to have him on. But the only thing I think is when he played and things like that, the Eels never show his footage, right? And then you're having this person on the podcast quite a lot. I don't know how much this goes into it, but I think you need to think that they are a business. One, you're having this controversial person on, and two, you have bad mouthed the club previously. So how can they trust you in a certain sense?
Yeah. It'll be a bit hard to get back into that circle after something like that happening. Like, I think you've burnt your bridges after that point.
That's essentially. And I don't like.
You might have to build a new bridge. It doesn't mean you can't build new bridges, but maybe just that one is good.
And Adam's a nice guy, and we're not like on this pod to put anyone down or anything, especially when they're trying to do the same thing as us. But I had Paige Travis on this podcast like previously, and he did message me, and he's like, "Oh, great get blah blah blah. How did you get her on?" And I was like, I had the English rugby. It's a long story, but I had the English rugby league captain on. Then she knew her, and then I got her on. And then he sort of did a post after that saying, I can remember it. It's sort of saying, oh, there's podcasts that do less for the Eels community, but are getting players on. That was basically, you can take it or leave it. It was basically about me, Absolutely. If I'm not as stupid. I sort of laughed at it, but I just think... I don't know. I'd love to have like you, me, and Matt Burton sitting here right now. And I know there's been a bit of criticism about like NRL players, how available they are, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, the bigger guests that I've had on have I've had a couple where I've got from DMs like Dragons coach Shane Flanagan and things like that. But a lot of people, it's just been like a genuine, natural sort of
happens. It's
thing. Yeah, like the long story of getting James Maloney was my daughter was speaking to a little girl at a pool. Then he was like, "Oh, I played for the Eels," and I was like, "Oh, you're Broderick Wright." Then I had him on. Then he's like, "Oh, I'm best mates with Jeremy Lattimore." Then I got Jeremy Lattimore on, and then I asked Latsy, I was like, "Oh, could you get Maloney?" So I just think
word of mouth works well.
You just gotta be, and as I said, I don't want to go down the route of like just doing this to get content or whatever. But I think you just got to be positive and like genuine, and then I think you'll receive things back.
Yeah, I feel like what you're saying, like they're trying so hard just to, because they want to get famous or get their videos viewed. So that's just, oh, this guy's got a better, instead of being happy for you, he's writing up a little bit. So we don't like that, mate.
Oh, okay. We don't like that, all right. Starts a war. Right.
Up the doggies.
But yeah, so it's funny because my mate is obviously a Cronulla fan, and he he really, I'll say his name Chris, but he really disliked Cronulla fans, like our whole, when we were younger and everything like that. They just weren't like, I don't know, he just didn't gel. He's from our area, but he just went for Cronulla when they were first sort of thing. I guess like without bagging your entire supporter base, like is there times when you've been at a game or like whatever and you're like, oh God? Because I've had the same thing with Eels.
I'm
by
a
the way.
Bulldog supporter. Imagine what I've had to go through at some game. I've been that supporter sometimes. I used to go when I was young, bang the drums and stuff like that. But now I see it, I'm like, oh, these bloody kids are doing it again. So that's why I don't go to games for that reason, because of the supporters.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay. Because I know around like 2004, 5, there was like, I felt like Dogs fans were on the back page every second week or whatever.
There was a lot of stuff going on back then.
I do think they were unfairly targeted, but there was like an element of the supporter base that needed to change.
Always.
Like, and I know they banned a lot of people and things like that. And then Todd Greenberg, who I think he's like CEO.
He was the CEO of the NRL for a bit after.
Yeah, he was CEO of NRL. And then I'm pretty sure he's with Cricket Australia with David Gallup.
He was one of the best CEOs actually. When Greenberg was around though, he made the NRL good, I think.
Yeah, he
really
was
well.
very good. But then he sort of cleaned it up, and then obviously Dogs have had a good reputation from there.
They actually had banned. I remember when I was young, I used to go. You weren't allowed the drums. You know, now like you go to the Dogs games, you can hear the Lebanese drums. They actually banned them before.
I don't like that.
You weren't allowed to have them. You weren't allowed. Now they tell us to bring. You weren't allowed. We'd have to throw them over the front, sneak it in, and then still do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you weren't allowed to do it. Now they've opened up towards the culture more.
Okay.
And like I feel like before they never used to open up with. Say they have big supporter base, Lebanese supporter base, for example.
Yeah.
They didn't take advantage of that too much back in the past. They were actually trying to stay away from it. I think they felt like it gives them too much of a straight hood kind of like vibe. But I feel like now, as the years went on, they've embraced the culture behind it, the good bits of it.
Well, because Eels,
they've got a big Lebanese supporter base too.
Yeah, and we have the drum too now, and I'm pretty certain, like I've never spoken to the guy, but he looks like a Middle Eastern appearance. Like I'm pretty sure, and the way he plays it,
Para
like,
Bulldogs, two biggest Lebanese supported clubs.
Yeah, actually, what's he said?
It's funny that I say this. So I've noticed this over the years, and anyone that has been around the West will notice. There's a lot of Lebanese Christians and Muslims. So a lot of the Christians, because of I think they're around Parramatta area, they're actually more Eel supporters. And then you see the Sunni Muslims, which is a sect of Islam, is more the Bulldog supporters. And then the St. George supporters, which are because out like what's the areas like Cogra ways. There's a lot of Shia Muslims out that way. So it's funny that every single, like, you know, depending where there's more of each culture, there's actually more of a supporter base for each one.
Johnny was saying this.
He
said that, and I actually didn't know because growing up, I knew there was a large Lebanese like Eels Bulldogs because I know always at the games, and I always say like, so I want to say this for when I do the impression of a Dogs fan, but I wanted them to be good again because I remember like the Eels and Dogs games would get 30,000 and then always be like one of us on the bottom of the ladder. And I was like, imagine we're both good. Yeah. I mean,
last year we got 50.
Yeah, that's what I was.
55. Imagine we were both gone good last year.
Yeah, like in the top 4 or something, it would be. Like,
Sydney would come alive.
Did you go to that game 2009? Were you at that game?
The semi-final?
Preliminary?
When they split half.
Yeah.
That was one of the best games I've ever been
that's
to.
the best rugby league game I've been to for atmosphere.
I had never seen them do what they done at that game. They split the crowd in half. So I was sitting at the top, and I remember looking down. You can literally, there's a line down the middle. One side Parramatta, one side Bulldogs. I had never ever seen that before until this day. But we lost it.
Yeah, it was, for me, it's a great memory, but because I remember I was on the very like end of where the Eels fans were to the doggies. Oh, poor Nori Nunu. I was on the end of that, and I was giving it to Dogs fans. I remember I was very happy because
it was Jared Hayne halved up.
Yeah, he actually, to speak of it, he did play very well. Not obviously that's separating the person to the player, but we had a good team then, and then obviously we lost to Melbourne later,
and then they got stripped of the premiership, which makes it worse.
Yeah, but I wouldn't really want. I think Nathan Hindmarsh
they wanted the.
Nah, I don't think. Do you
The
think
club
Eels did?
they wanted it. They
Oh,
were asking
really?
Leonardo for it. Yeah, I remember
Okay.
reading about it, heaps about it. They made like an application about it. They wanted to. They were
have
complaining.
the premiership.
Yeah, to get the premiership, but it didn't happen until like 3 years later. So it was like, I think it was a bit because now if you look at 2011, is it 2011, 2010?
Which one?
If you look now, like on the premiership,
09,
there's no name on him. Melbourne's not even on there anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I tried it because Hindmarsh has said previously that he wouldn't want it because he said like you don't have like the celebration of being with your mates and things like
It would be
that.
a lot different just to get the ring, really, just to say you won the premiership.
Yeah.
For Hindmarsh, it probably would have made his career better.
Yeah.
No offense, Nathan.
I'm trying to think from a fan perspective. It would have been hollow, but the thing that actually pissed me off was I know it was the next year when the Melbourne got kicked out of the finals and then Dragons ended up winning it. Yeah. And that annoyed me even more because at the time I didn't like Dragons team or supporters and they hadn't won for ages. And that is what I would have preferred. Because I honestly think if Melbourne don't play, I think our form was too hot to. Yeah. Well, we would have played. I
don't think anyone could have beaten
potentially Broncos.
I don't think anyone could have beaten them but Melbourne.
Yeah, they shut down our. I can remember like being pissed off. Not that we lost, but they shut down our offloads, and I thought instead of us like just playing the same way. We tried to play like Melbourne, and then when we got down by like 20, then we started throwing the ball, and we got to maybe like 8, got to within. Oh, I think we got to within.
That's when Fui Moimoi came alive. Do you remember Fui Moimoi?
When he scored that try.
What a beast. Oh, man. That try, I still remember it. He scored in the corner as well.
Yeah, and the not just, obviously if the Eels players said this, but Craig Bellamy has said like after that his players said like after the, like I feel like I'm getting goosebumps, but he said like after the game that the players were saying it was so like the noise from the Eels fan was so loud that it was like the noise was like hitting him like a wave. Wow, like they felt like when they're like running into it and they could not hear. You know, they say, "Oh, I can't hear anything," which is fair enough. But they said it was like a wave of like when I can remember when he scored, like how loud it was. Like, I think I'd given up hope, to be honest, being an Eels fan. But anyway, let's do. We've gone down memory lane, but let's do our impersonation of the Eels. So you're going to be an Eels fan and I'm going to be a Doggies fan. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay, all right. With respect to the Lebanese community, I'm going to ask Noor, am I allowed to do a Lebanese accent?
You
okay,
are.
so that gives me
the pass. Whole pass.
That gives me the go-to. All right. So I have thought about this. I've actually not thought about what I'm going to say, but I've thought about the premise. Okay, so I'm going to do a Doggies fan when they're winning, and then I'm going to do a Doggies fan when they're losing, okay? All right, so Doggies fans when they're winning. I'm trying to look into the camera a little bit as well, even though it feels unnatural, but Doggies fans when they're winning. Oh, my God, cuz... Have you seen the footy lately, bro? Oh, I'm loving it. I'm watching every game, bro. There's 8 games a week, but I wish I was watching 9, bro. I'm even watching the NRLW cars, which I never even thought would. Oh, my God, bro. The way, like, the 6 again. Oh, cars, it's fully hectic, bro. Can't even believe it. I invite mates over. Bro, 6 again. Score again.
You sound like me now.
I love it, bro. The footy is just, it's the best thing I've ever watched in my life. All right. Now I'm going to do when you're losing. All right. Let me get into character again.
You got to do like a grumpy face at least.
All right. Yeah. I can't smile. I can't vomit. Oh, yeah, bro. I haven't really been watching footy, eh? Like, I'm not really into it. I've got so much going on, bro. I've really actually we've been watching, like, a show on Disney. It's called, like, The Mormon Wives, bro. Like, my missus likes it, and sometimes I watch it, this and that. But, like, it's not bad, bro. And then sometimes, like, maybe maths is on when the game's on, bro, and my missus, not me, she's like, oh, could we watch maths? And then I watch it, and then I'm like, bro, how can you treat your husband like that? How can you do that? And like, Gia, like, you're not a girl's girl, Gia, you know what I mean? Cuz you're not a girl's girl, like, get her off the show.
I think you make a good Lebo.
Thank you.
You got some Lebo, like, in ya.
I am from Fairfield. I am from Fairfield.
They
Too.
got a little bit of Arab. That was coming out
Thank
real
you.
well, bro.
Yeah,
Like you were into that too.
Thank you, man. I think the second one was actually better than the first. So yeah, I did get far into it because I think I said to you, my mate Billy Bilbo Balau, he had his wedding. It's a famous, bro. I always talk about this video, but he had his wedding coming up. And then I went on camera. This is like the days of, these didn't even exist, you know, like of filming yourself talking or whatever it is, like on camera. And I did a video and it was like, his wedding was coming up and I was like, Billy Bilbo's. Cause I remember the first time we met at Prewood High School, bro, you did a bomb into the pool and I knew we'd be best friends forever, cuz. But now your wedding's coming up. I just want to sing a song for you. And then I put on that, it's like rain on your wedding day. It's a free ride. You like that?
Watching your face when you were singing your heart.
Yeah, I got into it. And then he's like cousins and uncles and things like that. They actually came up to me at the wedding and then like, oh, you were that white piece of shit that night. They came up to me at the wedding and they were like, oh, you were the one that did that video. We loved it. And I was like, oh, I wasn't. Like, I hope he was respectful. And they're like, no. It's like, that's one thing I'll say. Like, you could, we've spoken about this previously, I think ages ago, but with the hood.
The hood.
What is it?
Khod.
The hod. We were saying that the hood. The big head. The hood.
Closer.
Okay.
You got it at the same time. You got to do the head. Khod.
Yeah, with that, like Toggy's fans do take it quite well. It was just as we said when he went on social media after and did the video, it was a bit like much. But you said watching it, you were laughing and everything. Yeah,
literally, you don't understand how much of a joke that whole thing is in the Lebanese community.
Okay,
mostly with like, let's say my dad and his, my dad like 4 past him and his mates, they'll do it like the joke. He'll be like, "Hod," and then he went, "Hod," like they throw it like a ball. Hod.
Okay. So what translated is it like
take it?
Oh, take it.
Take this up your bum.
Oh,
that's literally it. So if you want to make it real extra, you can even go open this one.
Okay.
You wiggle it.
Wow. Okay.
That means batizak.
Okay.
Which is in your ass.
Okay. That is not what I expect. Because the way they sort of, maybe they couldn't on NRL 360.
Is exactly what you
imagine.
Yes.
Because on 360 and obviously media reports, they were saying like it's more like the middle finger. It's more like sort of piss off. It means, kind of. Hod, like I get loosely translate. It's
literally hod means take it.
Okay. Because I know even my mate Darko with Serbian words, it's like he can translate it to me, but he said sometimes it is actually hard to like translate it exactly. So it's kind of like on the border of those two.
It was funny watching that when people were trying to, non-Lebanese people were trying to explain what hod means on the news and stuff.
Yeah, well, Brave Vanessa, who has actually liked a few things lately, come on the podcast, Brave. But he got stitched up.
Yes, that was
how did he say? He said it really bad.
Way off.
Yeah. Cod. He said, my Lebanese friends have told me it's the cod.
Yeah, and he's Greek, so I was expecting more from him.
Well, he reckons he got stitched up by someone.
Come on, Brady, bro. You played for us for 10, what was it, like 10 years or something? You should know. You
would think he would have had a bit more like,
He's a good man. I like that bloke. He's good. I love Nesta. It was one of my favorites young. Still good, actually. Even watching him now as a commentator, I like him. He's good, actually.
He does a good job. Come on the podcast.
We need you, bro.
Weekly Offload.
Let's go.
So you got an Eels fan for me?
Eels fan. But the 80s. That's it. That's all you can talk about. The 80s. That's all you can talk about. You just have nothing else. Anything I say to it is what about? Because in the 80s, we won 3 in a row. That was 45 years ago. Win or lose, it's the only thing you're going to have to talk about is but the history. You have no history.
Well, we do have a history of winning 4 premierships in the 80s. I wasn't. No,
3 in a row. 3 in a row.
Yeah, and then we won 86.
And then you won 2, but didn't we win more than the 80s?
You've won 4 too.
Was it 4 each?
It was 4-4. That's that's why there's always the debate. Yeah, I don't know. I know Eels are 81, 82, 83, and 86. And I think you guys are 80. I don't know, actually.
Just every time you say 80, it sounds like you're saying a Lebanese word.
You guys, I think, are 80. You must be 80, 85. I know you played St. George in the grand final in 85. You won in 1980 against the
I
Roosters.
know 89 Canberra won it, so I know the last year of it they fucked it up for. It was all doggies in para. Then Canberra won in the last year of the 80s. So I think maybe it was either four. I think he's won 5, isn't it, actually?
No, 4.
Was it 4? So
100% 4 each. Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go.
I only know your two. I know you won 1980 and 1985. So you must have won maybe 87, 88, but that doesn't sound right.
I don't know. All I know is that as a Bulldog supporter, I don't talk about the 80s premierships. When someone asks me about my team, that's all he's going to talk about because he's got nothing else.
Well,
for the
you
last
would.
how do you even become a Parramatta supporter? Like, I just want to know that. Like, unless your parents are, you wake up one day and choose the team. I'm going to choose the team that in the last 10 years has made the top 8 once and hasn't won a premiership in
That's
45 years.
inaccurate. That's inaccurate. I'd say we definitely haven't won a premiership for sure.
Since 86. That's 40 years.
But I'm going to say, to rebut you, I'm going to say at least we're loyal. We're the most loyal fan base in the NRL.
You have to be loyal because you started supporting them and they've been losing ever since you were a baby. Tell me, they've lost 2 grand finals since you were a baby, 01 and 09.
I've seen, remember, I've seen 3. 2022, people forget we lost against Penrith.
That's right.
I've seen 3 grand
That's
final
right,
losses.
even worse.
But the only reason why the 2022 one is a little bit weird for me. So obviously on my social media, I've been speaking more about like the gambling stuff about opening up. In the 13 years of not gambling, that is the only time where I did tell my wife I'm having like the urge to gamble. It was around like 8 weeks out before the grand final. And I said to her, I'll just let you know I am having the urge. And Eels they were like 5th or 6th, but they weren't really looking like they were going to make it. And then after that, they started going on a run. And I was like, I should have put, because they would have been, I don't know, $15 or whatever. And then I was like, I should have put on. And then as they kept winning and winning, it was a weird sort of feeling because when they made the grand final, I went to the game and then Polly was like, I'll be honest with you, that's the first time I watched it and I didn't really want Eels to win.
Yeah.
And it would have been like, because I would have been like, I should have put 10 grand on 15 and I would have won like 150 grand. My mind just would have said that. Yeah. So it was the only grand final where I had mixed feelings, but the 01 and the 09 sucked.
Lost like 2 games all year, no one.
Yeah, they were both
lost like 2 games all year.
They were both different because 01 was so dominant and expected to win.
Minor premiership.
We should have won it. And then the 09 was the obviously we had that run at the end. So they were both sort of different. The 09, as I said, the only thing that annoyed me is they played a different style in the grand final that got them there. And then in the last 20 minutes, they came back and
I've got a question for you. Honestly, what made you start supporting Parramatta? Like, is it parents or did you actually choose Parramatta as a child as your team?
I chose them because they were so loyal, the fan base. No, I'm joking. My parents were Eels fans in the 80s.
That makes sense.
They went off it for a bit.
Sense.
I wonder why. Well, they say because I had children. And then my sister, she went to, I don't know why this matters, but she went to an all-girls school. And a lot of her friends, cuz. I don't know, yeah. I think doing that invitation and then also because I'm sick. Now I'm getting you sick. Bro, you said you haven't got sick for bloody 20 years.
You're making me snort stuff.
Yeah. So anyways, because her friends, like her friends, it is, can I, if my barber listens, he's probably gonna laugh. I think he'll just laugh at this, but Tim, if you do listen, say, it's funny because he went to a he worked in a barber shop with like Europeans, right? And he's European like himself. And I would say, there's no real way to put someone in a box, but I would say if I went in there, I would assume he's European, right? Now he works with a Lebanese guy, and then when I come in and get the haircut now, he's kind of more like, cuz, what do you want?
The vibes are
like
different.
like his accent's changed a little bit. So Tim, and he is a Doggies fan, by the way. So shout out to Tim if you are listening. But what were we even talking about? This is ADHD, man. What were we on about? Eels.
Eels.
So yeah, she went to school, all girls school, they started supporting footy again, and she was like, "Who should I support?" Basically, and then my parents were like, "Well, we were Parramatta fans back in the day," and then we started to have a little bit of a resurgence in the late '90s, and it's debatable. Like, it's funny, man. I've had times when they're at the bottom of the ladder and then other times when they choked. And I remember when they choked, I was like, they might as well come last because you don't get your hopes up.
It's okay. They do that a lot anyway.
You don't get your hopes up as shit. And then, hey, I think you guys have come last more recent than us.
Once or twice ever.
Yeah,
You have got the most
true.
You have got the most wooden spoons in NRL history. Just so you know.
I like the one where you came last, man. 2002. I was so happy back then. I was so when the news turned on, and because obviously we had lost the grand final the 01, and then 2002. You guys obviously had that gun team after the salary cap, and I can remember it so distinctly because I hated the Dogs back then. Because my primary school, like Prairie Wood, was half Dogs, half Eels, with like a mix of. As I said, my mate went for Cronulla, and it was kind of like if he got in the conversation, just everyone would bag him. They'll be like, "Get out of here, Kamali."
Who are you?
Yeah, Kamali through the intercept. You freaking lost it for New South Wales. But
oh my god,
do you remember that?
Oh my god, my heart.
Yeah.
Was that when Matt Bowen caught it?
Yeah, Matt Bowen. Chris got hammered. He got hammered, man.
God.
Yeah. Imagine being like a lanky white Aussie guy that supports Cronulla, and everyone else is like either if they are Aussie, they still support Para Dogs. Like our school, Para Dogs was like a big game. Like I would think if Eels lost, I would literally think, should I get it? Like I don't even want to go to school. By the way, there's this a guy at Marrickville, Josh. He is Italian, and can you believe this? So did you hear about them not making the World Cup? So it's 3 years in a row they haven't been,
3 World Cups
which
in a row.
is like
After
incredible.
Because they won it in 06 or was it 02 or 06?
06,
I think they won it
when
in
they
2010,
they got that
2014,
penalty bloody
18.
against us.
Yeah, yes, that's the one. So they made one after that. Since then, none.
Yeah, and anyway, so he said to people, if it's Italy don't qualify, he's like, I'm not going into work. Like, I'm not for the rest of the week. And then, like, I suppose they laughed and this and that. And then when I was at Marrickville on Wednesday, I was like, oh, they were giving it to him in the office. And I go, oh, where's Josh? And they're like, he moved his clients, like, his whole week. He cancelled them.
I totally understand that.
Yeah, but it didn't. I don't know. Do you think that's a good tactic? Because then you're not only copying it, like shout out to Achilles because he was giving it to him with memes and everything else. You're not only copying it through social media memes, but then you have to face the music anyway.
I will never stop giving it to you for the rest of your life if you've done that around me. You can take that week off. No, make me when you come back. I'm gonna start putting stuff on your desk.
That's what I reckon is gonna happen. Because that was the one thing I do miss about like living in the UK. And I said to Polly, my wife, when England, we're used to going for teams that choke, but when England missed like those penalties, we're watching it on the computer, and I said, I'll show you what you can do here. You can close the computer and we can go for a walk and no one cares. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And that was the same in the UK when Eels would lose, and I think we had one really bad season when we came last, and then the next one when we started getting a bit better, I was still over there. But the season when we were bad, it was just like I would watch it, but then when it's over, I'll just close it.
That's as good. You were in another country, you didn't have to hear it.
Yeah, and that's it.
But I can imagine. Did you see the reaction to the Bosnian fans winning that game against Italy? That was freaking throwing bombs up. I've never seen congratulations, Bosnia.
Throwing bombs?
Literally like crack it.
Oh, okay.
Imagine they won the World Cup. If you had seen the celebrations, it was crazy. The bombs is the wrong word.
Yeah, I was gonna,
Firecrackers, okay. They were intense though. It was intense. Imagine they actually won the World Cup is what I was thinking, but poor Italy, another one.
Yeah, they're gone.
Sorry, mate.
I was going to try to ring a South supporter today. What do you think about trying that?
I do not want to hear. I don't like South.
Okay. Should we leave it for today?
No, I'm joking. I don't care.
I could try. This is live, so if this goes bad, I could try to give him a call.
Who's our South?
His name's Alex. Let's see. This is kind of a shout out to call a mate, but if he doesn't answer, I don't know what's going to happen.
Come on, Alex. Let's see if you got reliable friends or not.
Is it coming through the thing? Can you hear that through the ping? Okay. Let's try call him. Okay, sorry guys. Yeah, let's call him.
Get some Kendrick.
If he doesn't answer, this is going to be great because this has to come out on Monday. This
So you know who not to call if you were in a bad situation, though. True.
Yeah, true. I'm ringing him now. Come on, Alex.
Come on, Alex.
He's a big Souths fan, but he's only been in Australia maybe 10 years. He's from Brazil.
Ooh, Brazil.
He was saying when he first got here, he was like quite surprised with how quiet it is. Like on the street and stuff.
Oh yeah,
like
compared
that.
to over there. Man.
Yeah.
I would love to live in Brazil for a week.
Yeah, if we're gonna get him. Nah, that's all right. Anyways, let's try next. Wait. I'll try again. Send us your number. So, Noah, what's been happening, man? Give us a little bit of a rundown while I'm doing this.
Rundown.
What's been going on?
Just working a little bit too much, my friend. But you know, you got to respect the hustle. You got to do what you got to do. Working 7 days a week, but day and night. But it is what it is, my friend. You got to do what you got to do to make it in life. So, it's fun. How about you? How is work with you, my friend?
That's good, man. Yeah, there's a bit going on working for AFL.
Do you watch the soccer at all? Random ADHD question halfway through a question.
Nah, I do watch. I wasn't into it. Back to like, I'm just saying we're live in the podcast now, so I said send us your number, because I was trying to ring him on Instagram, but he does have kids, so he might be busy. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, growing up in Fairfield, a lot of my mates obviously were European, and they did watch, but I really didn't like it. I was, to be honest, I'm not going to say which family members, but, and I don't condone this, but a lot of my family members used to call it wog ball. Yeah, have you ever heard that?
Racist. No,
yeah, it is right. Yeah, no. It is, man. 100% it is. But yeah, so I just didn't like it, and then I started playing FIFA. I started getting absolutely smashed by my mates, and they'll make fun of me, and then I secretly bought it, and then I became out of my friends, I'm the best one. A few of them don't even play because they reckon, I got sick of her, it's a waste of time, but it was literally because I started pumping. There's like 6-0.
Nothing better than a good game of FIFA with the boys.
No, 100%.
There's nothing like a good night of a FIFA night with the boys. That's the good stuff right there. I would take that over money sometimes. That's how good FIFA nights
over
are.
money?
Like, if someone offered me money or hang out with the boys and play FIFA for one night, I think I'd rather the FIFA night. It depends.
Really?
I guess it depends how much money, though. I'm saying that now.
Bro, I actually, while I was waiting for Alex, I didn't do many notes for this one, but I had a general idea. But speaking of the content creators, man, have you ever seen, and this will be good because I'm connected to the phone, so it won't be a waste. Things always happen for a reason, guys, especially in life in this podcast. But have you seen like Islanders online?
What do you mean?
We're going like, it's not racist, but it sounds racist.
That's what I was like,
but no. So I had Alfie on, who played in the Super 14 or Super Rugby it was at the time. No, Super 14.
Recently, right?
Yeah, in Tongan.
Yes.
Great episode, like bit different. We disagree and things like that. But he has opened me up to a brand new world, man. I was saying to him, I go, now I get like their beefs online. It's quite interesting because...
Oh, the creator beefs, you mean?
Creator beefs online.
No way.
So it's quite interesting because if you've met Islanders, they're like the most kindest sort of calm people you can meet until you get them on a footy field, obviously, or like get them angry. But I just find in general, they're such like calm, like loving people. And I just wouldn't think they'd be into social media just because they're more like, I don't want to say, I don't know, just more...
I think that it's quiet.
Just quiet. And not you wouldn't think they would care about followers and this and that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think everyone does once they get it. Once people
get a bit of
a
taste.
Yeah, once you get that taste, you can't... everyone, no matter who you're human, it's a human thing. I don't think it's a culture. No matter what culture you are, I feel like anyone that got a bit of attention.
But they get into it, man. I wish I had I'm gonna try to look for a clip. I said to Alfie, I was like, with respect, it's like the housewives of the Islander housewives, house husbands. I said
House husbands.
the real Islander house husbands.
House husbands.
And it's just like sometimes they beef. They'll say, "Oh, New Zealanders who live." Or Islanders who live in Australia, I think they're better than Islanders who migrated to New Zealand. Then you obviously have the Tongan and Samoan thing that comes up as well. But I'm trying to get one where like this guy Steven said to, he always is beefing with someone, man. Like he loves it. He just loves like beefing. I'll try to see if he's like got one where he's like.
While you're looking for that, is a little fun fact. Junior Port, I went to high school with Junior Paulo.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Junior were in the same year in high school. So
oh, really?
Me and Junior.
Wow.
From year 7 to year 10, we were together in Ashcroft. So I watched him be the best footy player you've ever seen in your life when he was in high school.
Oh, really?
Junior used to run like 11 or 12 seconds and he was like 120 kilos in high school, which was the most insane thing you've ever seen in your life. To say a boy that big run as hard as he did.
That's crazy, man.
Shout out Big Junior, baby.
Yeah, sorry guys for the delay. I'm just trying to find one where he's beefing with someone because he's got a lot of followers, like 50,000 or something like that. But yeah, they go at it. What about this?
Junior still plays for Para, doesn't he?
I'm gonna tell you why Samoan people have a little B, a little thing. Because you guys think it's funny. You guys always say, "Oh yeah, he's Samoan. He's got a small B." But you don't know the history. Okay, let's go back long time ago. 1800, 1700. Way before your granddad was even born. Did you know, back in the days, when Mariator was the chef, 2 Chinese people, they escaped the war in China and they made their way and they came to Samoa. This time, there was no airport. This time, there's no citizenship. So when the Samoan people saw these 2 Chinese, they said, "Oh my gosh, these are aliens." They didn't know who existed.
So it's sort of that vibe. But yeah, he'll beef, man. He'll like have big beefs with someone and then they'll sort of come back to each other and yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I feel like they're probably not that kind of person in real life. It's all for them.
Yeah, I think maybe they do get on.
Like if I acted a certain way just for fun and then I got attention from it and likes and maybe make money off it even, I'd milk that thing. I'd milk that to death. Would you not?
Yeah,
if
true.
you find something people are liking or want to watch more often, like you see people that almost have their alter ego when it comes to online.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people.
I would actually say no. I wouldn't.
I've seen a lot of people that say like on camera, some creators are one way, and then in real life they are not that person whatsoever. So it is just for the camera. You know, you see people acting weird on camera, and no. You think, oh, it's probably them. Then you talk to them, and they're just a normal person, but they are putting on an act. Oh, a lot of people are. No, I don't know about. I'm not talking about no one specifically, but I do feel like anyone that gets a little bit of attention will just milk it, even if it wasn't them. Even in real life, that's not even a like social media thing. I feel like if you you'll fake. It's like fake it till you make it.
I thought even with this podcast, I would like to go viral with something like that is I'm saying like a lot. Is controversial, but I think I'd rather go the other way.
So, but that's it. We're just being ourselves. Like we could sit here and say super controversial stuff that we don't believe in.
So you're saying you actually might say something that you actually believe in and not think it's controversial, then it blows up.
Exactly.
And then you might add to it.
Or even try and find the controversy that everyone else is talking about.
Yeah.
And you just milk as much as you get out of it. So that's what a lot of the content creators do at the moment. If you doom scroll as much as I do.
Do you really? I'm trying not to, man.
I can't stop. It's so bad.
Is that ADHD?
It must be. Sometimes I'm like, must look at my phone. What are you doing?
Oh, sorry. I was just trying to get him. I was trying to get Alex on, but I don't think it's gonna happen. But yeah, I thought we'd end.
Give it up.
Yeah, we'll end off. We'll end off on the offload, and I guess I wanted to do like one thing. What's one thing that stood out for you, like for the NRL season so far?
This season?
Yeah.
one thing, watching Penrith play. Honestly, like I'd never think some team after 5 years of you've seen Melbourne, they don't usually get bouts. It's actually how I was hearing Andrew Johns and Brad Field talk about. They're saying it's the best performance they've ever seen them have, even through all the years of this dominance. Since 2019, last night was the best game they've ever seen them play.
Is that what he said?
That's what they said. And I'm watching the game thinking, bro, they were complaining at 100%. I've never seen a team play like that. I honestly haven't. And I've watched a lot of footy in my life. So this year, I don't like to watch that many other games. But Penrith games, I don't like missing them. And I don't go for Penrith at all, you know what I mean? But just watching them play, it makes you want to watch footy. It's so beautiful. You know what I mean? Literally, it's
beautiful.
Yeah, like it's so pretty. Like everything they do is just, it works. You watch the Bulldogs, watch Para. It's so clunky sometimes when they get into the 20s. They're not all just on one page. It feels like Penrith just smooth. Everything, it just keeps going. Everyone knows their job. And you can tell, you can see it literally happening on the field. That's what I feel like. So, yeah. They're a big surprise for me. I didn't think another year of this, bro.
Yeah, I could agree with you. I guess, like, I could add on to that, but I think, like, you said it well. And I guess, you know, that is a big talking point. Who can beat Penrith, what we said before the show. But I wanted to actually say the 6 again change. Yeah, I don't like it, man.
I don't like it either, to be honest.
But do you know when I did the poll on the Instagram group, a lot of the boys who are younger, like they won't care me saying this, but Mina, Mason, I don't know about Johnny, but they say they like it because it's faster. But I guess because we watched NRL back in the day, my thoughts on the 6 again is like they brought in the 6 again, right? And it changed the game too much where it felt like Oz tag or like, not Oz, I guess so, like touch. And I remember when I was at a game, Para Dragons, and we lost 32-8. And I was thinking, we didn't even play that bad. It's just we made one mistake and just couldn't get the ball. And then it was like 6 again.
It almost becomes like union.
Yeah.
Like, you know how there's an unlimited amount of tackles?
Yeah,
and so
that's...
the team starts on their 10-meter line and then gets 3 repeat sets.
You can't get the ball.
Even if you're making 5 meters per run, they're still making 100 meters in that whole set and they're in an attacking position. Another problem with it is the referee doesn't tell you why the 6 again happened. So teams don't know it's 6 again. Remember it was penalty for being offside, for example.
Yeah,
or for offside. They didn't explain it.
Well, that's why I liked. So I liked there's been a few incarnations, but I like the original where 6 again was just holding down.
Is
so
that what it was?
that was the original.
Yeah.
So after COVID, it was we want to change like the wrestle, so it's gonna be 6 again for holding down. But then once they like, people like this or we like it, they were like, let's make it for offside, let's make it for this, let's make it for that. Obviously, high contact and illegal quote unquote play is still like a dangerous play, I guess you can say. But then they made the tweak of having it inside your own 40.
That's all right.
That was good. Last year, that was good because it was like, okay, inside your own 40, it's a penalty. There's a stop in play, but there's not as many penalties as the old game anyway.
Not that many.
Because in there's 60, there's 6 again. And now they've changed it back, and NRL is just, I know a lot of podcasts talk about this, so I don't want to like bore people going on about it, but like people say with NRL, it's such a weird sport that it's like, let's not trial it out in any form of the game, but let's put it on our main television product. Like, and the thing that I found weird when I first heard it was like, let's go from 40 to the 20. What about the 30-meter line?
And remember, how about the kickoff rule they wanted to do?
Yeah, that's...
Lucky it got pushed back. That would have changed the whole game. I was watching like the game last night thinking about it as well. I'm like, imagine they had done that rule when you can choose if you want to kick off or not. It would have... who's making these decisions to even... Like, they didn't trial that. They were almost going to do it without a trial. Like before, I remember when there was under 20s. Remember when there was the Toyota under 20? They used to do that. They used to trial it in the under 20s. And then, so they remember the 2 ref system? That started in under 20s first. They tested it out. And even the captain's challenge got tested out in the under 20s and stuff like that. So we had that, but there's no more of that for them to do it anymore. So like you said, I don't know why would they make that decision without testing or seeing what... It makes a big difference if you think about it. Like now, like forwards, man, imagine having to defend 100 meters. You're running back because you're getting a 6 again. You're running back. The forwards are dead by the time they get the ball back.
They were saying, excuse me, that the big men are sort of getting phased out in certain space.
Look, for example, I was watching Doggy's thing, Jai Gray, because he's so small, you can't tackle him a normal way. they're actually trying to tackle him with here.
But then you might get high contact
then
too. So it's
their
sort
arms,
of, yeah.
their arms are literally like O'Sullivan's arms are here, and then Joy Gray falls into his arm, and it's a penalty. Like it's fair, but because of the smaller players now, you can't even be a big player anymore. It's hard. Nelson said the same thing. Asafa NAS, whatever. He said he thinks that there's no space for him in the game anymore because he's too big.
Well, now he's boxing.
Yeah, but that's why, because he can't tackle anyone properly because he's too tall for everyone. So anyone that runs at him, he's getting them in the head, and he keeps getting suspended for it. So that's why he said, he goes, I don't believe, he thought the boxing was a better option before that as well. He's just too big for the game. Now, like back in the day, we've been great, but now there's so many smaller players on the field all the time that this big forward, everyone's running at this big forward, he's going to make a mistake eventually because he can't drop down every time. Imagine Dry Gray, for example, running at Nelson. You have to drop down a meter. You can't tackle him, or he can just go like that. So, I don't know.
Yeah, that might be a good way to end off on the pod. Like, what do you think, I guess, moving forward, like with the NRL? Would you be happy if they just kept the rules as they were for a while?
That's the thing. Like, they didn't even... It needs to stay for a while to see what a difference it'll make. Like, the 40 was only for a couple of years. Now they changed it to the 20. I don't understand how they're going to... You never know this, but they're making tweaks every year because they're trying to make the game so worldwide. So they're trying to find new things, exciting things that... Say, us as old school fans, though, I feel like we're used to a certain way. So maybe looking at it from a different point of view, being a new fan, never have watched the game of footy in my life, watching it now would probably be more exciting than watching it how we learned to like the footy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because the hard thing is, like, say my dad, for example, he used to be like, oh, the 80s were the best. And then I watched the VHS of the 80s and I was like, this is like literally going to watching me play under 16s, like with Canley High. That's how slow it was.
Exactly.
Like, with respect to, I get it. Oh, they did it. They had jobs and blah, blah, blah. Like, we get it. Exactly. But it's still, you were saying that the product to watch was better than what it is today, and it wasn't. Yeah. And then we went through the phase of if I do watch 2004, I didn't like it because Melbourne had, not 2004, sorry, that was Doggy's era, more like 2006, yeah, more like that. 6, 7, 8, 9, the wrestling, yeah, from the wrestling. Yeah. If you go back and watch, like, there's a classic game, Storm versus Warriors, where Warriors win it, they're the underdogs and come back and win.
Was that the first week of the finals one?
Yeah, and Michael Witt takes ages to put the ball down. Like this. Yeah. He's trying to take time. Former Eels player, by the way. That's another thing we do, give away good players. But he did that. But if you actually watch the game, that's considered a classic. But man, if you watch it now, every second tackle, I'm like, penalty. I was like, yeah, it's so slow. Now, it's so different. It's like, because they've got them in like locks that the referee doesn't really even know. It is like, I'm not a jiu-jitsu expert. When I did jiu-jitsu, I was like, a few things they teach me, I'm like, this is what they do in NRL.
Yeah, that's why they still say Melbourne's the best at the wrestle. Till this day.
Yeah, it's hard. I think now the referees know more about the locks and stuff. They know chicken wing. There was chicken wing. There was grapple. Because if you control someone's head, they can't move their body.
That's right.
So there was chicken wing. There was grapple. There was the third man in that they've. So a lot of them they have eradicated, but obviously, some of them still exist to this day. That's why. It's a different topic, but I do like NRLW because they tackle like around the legs and more traditional.
And they run harder.
Yeah, true. Because they're not. Because you know why? Because I think they're not worried about like, I need to get on play the ball and I need to do this and do that.
I'm seeing these girls, mate, they just run straight at each other. Yeah. Like, I didn't think I'd like it. I was watching the Origin, mate. These girls just. Direct line, no step.
Yeah, and you get more of the forward battles because, as I said, they're not as much worried about like stats or I need to get to my front. It's more like pure footy, which I like too. But yeah, I think rounding it all off, I guess you and I are sort of in agreement that they tinkered enough last year and they should have just kept it like as is.
Just for a few years at least. There was no problem to be solved.
Nah, that's what
if there was a problem with it, and it needed to be solving, then... But I didn't hear one person last year say, oh, this is a bad rule.
Yeah, there was everyone was in agreement. There was a good mixture.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you look at Brisbane versus Storm, it was the first grand final in a while that outrated AFL.
That's right.
And that's has made AFL rethink about their day grand finals, which never happened ever.
Didn't they say they're going to change it?
Nah, they've just announced they're gonna do 2 more years at 2:30.
And then they're going to change it?
Well, it looks likely.
Yeah.
But there's more AFL experts and things like that, which never happened before. It was usually the other way around of NRL people saying, oh, the barbecues, this and that.
They wanted to make a daytime for the NRL. Remember?
Now a lot of AFL experts are saying we are falling behind, and that has never in my lifetime. It's always been AFL ahead of the curve compared to NRL.
Yeah,
so.
you're right with that one. Well,
But yeah, last thing I got to say, Nor, is that the Doggies are the most unloyal supporter base in the world. That's our weekly offload. Shall I be